This is the Zegna 232. It's a new sneaker that is not supposed to replace the triple stitch, but certainly give the brand a different entry point and compete with the all too popular tennis shoes at the moment. If you're familiar with the Zegna, you will know that 232 refers to the road that goes through its hometown and connects it with the wildlife reserve. So naming a tennis sneaker after a road in your backyard only makes sense. But for 890 euros, what are you actually getting, and is it worth the money, as I like to say? I've now worn this shoe for about 2 weeks, pretty much every day, at least for several hours, and it's a good shoe, but 890 euros, there are some flaws to it, or certainly aspects that could use some improvement to warrant that price tag. But let's break it down from construction to materials, as well as the different components and comfort, because that's actually why we're buying shoes. We want to be comfortable. So for the upper, what you're getting is a very, very nice suede. This is probably sourced from Charisma. That's a tannery that is used by all the big Italian luxury brands, from Loro Piana to Zegna and many, many others. Is the suede comparable with what you're getting on an open walk? Probably. Would I like to see these shoes be made from really, really nice calf leather, whether that's a second skin spec or something else? Yes, because I'm personally not a fan of suede, but that's beyond the point. Going back to the 232 reference, this is also caught at the bottom of the sole. This is a rubber sole, and you're getting a very nice detail. Whether or not this design actually is anti-slip and gives you better grip remains to be seen, but it certainly works, and the rubber is doing most of the heavy lifting to give you a good and confident level of grip. Let's quickly talk about another aspect of the design. You get this side stripe here, which is also meant to reflect the 232 road, or at least give it a little bit of an edge, because otherwise this would be a very plain sneaker, and I'm not sure that we need another one of these. Now, moving on to the inside and taking this a little bit apart, you're getting a composite sole with a not too thin of a layer of leather that is slapped on top of it. It's, of course, as you can see here, branded 232, because otherwise, what would be the point if you're not reminding your customers of your brand marks? Also on the bottom, Zegna 232 and the two stripes that are meant to symbolize the road. And now that we've taken that insole out, we can look at how this shoe has actually been constructed. And while Rose Anvil would probably cut these in half, we don't need to do this necessarily, because there's not much going on. On the inside, as you may see here, you're getting a Strobel board, which is a very tried and tested way of constructing sneakers, but since the advent of other brands which are bringing high-end shoemaking techniques to the sneaker segment, this is no longer good enough when you're in the luxury segment. You can do better. Another part of the construction that is sort of reflected to the inside is the heel counter, which starts approximately here and goes all the way around to here. It is a very soft one, as you can see here. It's very malleable, so it's not actually going to do much in order to give you stability in this pair, but it's a tennis shoe after all, so maybe you don't need this or don't want this and just want the lightest possible shoe on your feet. And if that's a requirement, the 232 might do it for you. Now, in terms of the internals, getting back to the Strobel construction, there's nothing. As you can see here, absolutely nothing, no reinforcement. They glued the rubber sole onto the upper and call it a day with the Strobel board in between. And I would not expect them to perfectly motor your feet because of this. If there was a layer of cork in between there, it certainly would increase the longevity. But Zegna went the other route. They wanted something super light. And so you will have to be happy with just essentially walking on rubber and a Strobel board. All of which brings us to the last aspect in terms of construction. And that is a light that's a little bit too bright for this video. And that is the calf lining, which is very nice, very consistent, very thin. They did a good job overall here, and it's certainly going to make for a relatively comfortable upper. So in summary, is the 232 worth it? Maybe. I've seen better constructed shoes at this price point, and while this is a Zegna product, meaning the materials are not being skimmed out on, you can get something from British shoemakers as well as other sneaker brands that has not just a glued on cup. Meaning that if you love the design and you want a tennis shoe that is made of nicer materials than an Adidas Samba, this is the shoe for you. If you expect this shoe to be extraordinarily well constructed, beyond anything we've ever seen on the market. This is not it. So this was the first of many YouTube videos to come. I hope you enjoyed this. Like, subscribe, follow on Substack and everywhere else, and I'll see you in the next one.